Hello everyone, Fair Explorer here. I'm so excited to share with you my experiences, my journeys, my trips, my tricks and tips. And in today's video, I'm giving you the very best 10 LMIA-approved employers in Canada for your job offer application. Those successful candidates will come to Canada with their whole family. Canada is a good country. When you come with your whole family, your spouse will get an open work permit, and the children will get free education, and you'll all have free health care. Can it get any better? So we must put our best foot forward and give this our level best. So what must we do? Let's go to the requirements. 1. Education. We must have a secondary school education certificate, and we can have it assessed. That is called Education Credential Assessment, ECA, by a body called WES, World Education Services. So this one helps the Canadian government to assess the level of your education compared to the Canadian education. On education, we also need training. Training on the area we are interested in. So are we interested in the child care program? Then we must have a certificate, training on child care. Are we interested in the home support worker or the caregiver? Then we must have training on the caregiver or home support worker. We must be having something that is showing that we are good. We have been trained. We know what we are doing if we are given this job. From the trainings and the education, we'll go into language. Our language proficiency. So Canada has 2 official languages, English and French. So I'll deal with the English test here. So you need to do an English test. It's called International English Test, IELTS, International English Language Test. And you need to do it with a body that is designated by Canadian government. If you do with any other body, it will not be accepted. So the best body to use here is the British Council. Please apply with the British Council. It's applied online, and you pay online, and they give you reading materials. Before the exam, you can be able to prepare with the library that they have. And then you do the exam, and at least you should have a CLB of 4. Though even a 5 is good, because you can do it. Then from the language, we'll go to number 3. At least 1 year experience in the area of our interest. So if it's on childcare, then you need to have experience for 1 year, having worked in that field. If it's caregiving or home support worker, then you also need at least 1 year or more. So how are you going to prove that you have worked? So 1, you can have recommendations from previous employers whom you had worked for. You can also have pay stubs or checks that maybe you kept. Those ones can prove. You can also have contract letters that you had contracted with your previous employers. At least you need proof that you had worked in the same field that you are applying now. Then now, the 4th requirement, the job offer with a Canadian employer who is LMIA LMIA-approved. So how do you do this? And please remember, the Canadian government has said that it's not dealing with placement agencies. So it's not the agencies that we know of. We need to use an employer directory, an employer, or somebody who is directly recruiting for the employer, who is in the government website. So the first one, the first place we go to get our employers is Job Bank. www.jobbank.gc.ca. That already tells you it's in the government website. And the goodness with the government website, it even has a list of employers who have been approved, LMIA approved, or whose approval is pending, or those ones who have been banned. Like some indefinitely, others up to 5 years, others you'll find fines in that list. Some have been fined because maybe they didn't do 1, 2, 3. So a job bank is a good place to go. And still on job bank, when you apply, when you get to the website, they will realize you are not within Canada, and they will bring up a window that asks you if you are applying from outside, and that is where you'll click. So they will ask you if you are applying from outside, click here. So that's where you'll click. And then when you click, it will now indicate that you are applying either as an international candidate or a foreigner. And still on that same page, you'll find an area that is requiring you to choose whether you require somebody who is LMIA approved. So when you tick all that, it will now bring you to the only positions that are for international candidates or for foreigners. So then when you're applying, it will ask you to place whatever job you're applying for. So if you're applying for childcare, that's what you're going to put there so that it can search for you, or you do the home support care worker or caregiver. It also asks you to do the province, like to choose the province that you are interested in. But if I were you, I wouldn't limit myself. Because remember, we are doing many applications. You are not doing 1, 2, 10, no. You are doing more than. You can say in a day, I will apply like 10. Tomorrow, another 10. The other day, like that, as you wait. Because already you have your paperwork that is very well done, and that now what you'll need is just the job offer. So after the job bank, there are other employers that are LMIA approved that you can apply to them so that they give you a job offer. So my list is here. So we had one, Job Bank. Then we have Everest Home Care. Then we have Choice Home Care. Then we have Extended Care. Then we have Amaze Health Care. We have Kidred Home Care. And I have even done screenshots, which I have placed in the video so that you can check on them to see that it is the actual one, because there are quite a number that follows down there, and some are not the real thing. And please, even as we continue, please like, share, subscribe, so that I can be able to make more videos and enlighten what I do to others out there. Then we have SE Healthcare. And we have sure work, healthcare. We have be sure healthcare. So you'll see them lined up there, and there are others. It doesn't mean that this is only the list that you can use. So make sure you attach the documents that we have stated. And to go with the documents, you must also have a Canadian formatted resume. Some call it CV. It's online. You just go online and search for the templates of the Canadian formats. And you do a resume and you do a cover letter. So what they do, you don't just write an application the way we normally used to do. Like, I'm applying here. No. You do serious business. Because what happens, before the employers can look into your resume or your application or your documents, it's passed through some machine, they read and see whether, there are those words that they look for. So if yours has nothing, it won't even get the chance to get to that employer. So that is why it's important to invest in also having a very good CV and a resume, so that it gets a chance to be seen by human beings after the machines. And then, God willing, you get your job offer. And remember, this is not the end. When you get a job offer, and it's quite a tedious activity, because can you imagine those employers, the LMIA employer have to pay the government $1,000 for each application? You know how much that is? That is about, now if the dollar is going at 136 in Kenya, then that's about 136,000 Kenya shillings. That is one person that the employer has to pay the government so that they can look at your application. And if the application is turned down, they are not refunded the money. So that is why the employers are very strict, very strict in the documentation, because the government officers will be looking at all those things the way we have mentioned them. So there is no way you can corrupt the system, because the employer is also using his money to get you, and they wouldn't want to just place it on somebody who doesn't look serious, whose documents do not look convincing. So let us take our time. We have our time before the program is launched, maybe 3 months, maybe 4 months. Can we use that time to go over all these documents, to go over the requirements, to ask a second opinion for someone? Fair Explorer Advisors is here to help you in case you need help. Just write us an email at fairexploreradvisors@gmail.com, and we will be glad to help you. So thank you so much for listening to my video. God bless you. All the best. I love you.